Kid, you want to survive, you do exactly as I say.
What's up, everyone? I'm Amy Johnston.
And I'm Darren Bailey.
We're actors and stunt performers. We wanted to highlight some of the stunts that are more dangerous than they may look, and take a deep dive into them.
It's important to note that neither of us worked directly on this film. Every stunt coordinator has his or her own methods and tricks of how to achieve the perfect stunts. We're friends with the core team and the director, Sam Hargrave, a world-class stuntman himself, and we just wanted to acknowledge some of the amazing stunts that impressed us most as fellow professionals, offering some insight from our own experiences. Let's get started. The stair fall.
Everyone loves a good stair fall. This stunt stood out to me for a few reasons. First off, when you have more than one person involved in a stunt, you are required to work out your timing and body mechanics with someone else's, which can sometimes be tricky. For this stair fall in particular, we see that the first guy falls backwards onto the stairs, followed by the second guy. Here we see the performer fall backwards as he throws his gun to the side to get it out of the equation, and first lands on the upper part of his back, creating a safe cushion with his arms as well. At this point, momentum and gravity take him down, and he controls his body as much as possible in a way that looks like he is out of control. As he rolls down about halfway down the stairs, the second stunt performer takes his timing and starts his stair fall. He now has the timing off of the first stunt performer to take his stair fall behind him safely with the proper distance. As they both land right in front of the camera, we see very clearly that the first stuntman was not wearing any back padding during this stunt. This is the most interesting part to me. For stair falls, or for any stunts in general, you typically want to pad up every part of your body that you can. This was very impressive. Well done to the whole team.
The wall slam. In the apartment where Ovi Mahajan is being held hostage, Chris Hemsworth's character, Tyler Rake, though he looks like more of a Brad to me, comes in to rescue him by lethal force. In the middle of this fight with multiple men, he grabs one of them, slams his head against the table, then push kicks him in the back, sending him flying into a damaged wall head first. The stuntman hits his head against the wall, sending debris flying, then falls directly onto his back in excruciating pain. This is the kind of stunt that's designed to make the viewer feel the pain of the performer. It's brutal, fast, and precise. Firstly, Chris is kicking the stunt performer forward in one shot, to which I assume the performer is just sending himself with that force. The next shot at the low angle is designed to see all the action through the opening in the wall. It surely looks like a bigger opening from this angle than it does to the stunt performer, who's not only paying attention to where his head needs to hit, possibly on a padded area of the wall hidden on this reverse shot, but also ensuring his legs don't clip the piece of the wall jutting out by his knee, landing on his back in a way that doesn't use his arms to brace the landing, and then acting out the pain to sell the impact. This stunt can be achieved by rigging or not, that doesn't really matter. What I think is most impressive about this stunt is the commitment of the performer to hit multiple marks in a short amount of time with high intensity and continue acting through it to sell the impact to the audience, while also telling us that he could still pose a threat to our hero. The best stunt performers have a keen ability to act emotionally while simultaneously react physically. The roof fall.
These two performers have incredible timing and precision. Let's take it from the top. The stunt starts out by a rail fall onto the roof below. The first stuntman takes his rail fall, followed by the second at perfect timing. They don't want to land at the same time because they could land too close for comfort. The performers place their bodies with the proper velocity on the rail in the perfect spot for their bodies to land in the correct way on the roof below. If they place the rail too low on their body, they will flip over faster, and if the rail is too high on their bodies, they may not get the full momentum to land properly. So the rail fall is crucial in order to continue this big stunt with control. As they both land on the roof below, the gun is lost, and they slide and roll down towards the ground. It's important to note the details here. One performer slides as he pretends to go for the gun mid-slide, and the other rolls. They are doing different movements to make it look more out of control, a very small detail that adds beautiful chaos. The next part of the stunt is their big impact onto the truck. Again, we see the performers taking the reactions and falls differently. One slides down the side of the truck as the other hits the truck with more power and speed and bounces right off. This is a very detailed stunt with multiple parts to it. They had to map this out piece by piece and be very precise with where they wanted to land and then pad themselves up accordingly. These performers needed to execute the proper placement, velocity, and acting performances in addition to staying safe.
The 180. There's nothing like a high-speed car chase on a narrow, dusty road, where bullets are flying, windows are breaking, pedestrians are jumping out of the way, and cars are flipping. This sequence takes place a couple minutes into the incredible 11.5-minute oneer. A oneer is a long, continuous shot, often created using multiple shots seamlessly blended together. Shortly after an incredible car flip in its own right is a complex sequence that involves actor Randeep Huda's character Saju shooting at police as he makes his getaway in pursuit of Tyler and Ovi's vehicle. A police car drives past Saju's vehicle, makes a sharp 180-degree turn directly in front of the speeding cruiser, then reverses into a crash as Saju drives on. This is all about precision driving and coordination from multiple stunt drivers, including the stunt driver operating the vehicle our camera is filming the action from. Having the window down in Saju's car is also a great way to show us that it's really the actor inside this vehicle as the rest of the stunt sequence happens around him. It's easy to miss this precise driving work so soon after an equally impressive and dangerous car flip, which is why it deserves to be pointed out here. The car bail.
Here we have a 3-person stunt. The stunt driver is not seen, but is crucial to the safety of the stunt for the 2 performers to bail out of the car safely at the right speed and placement. Car bails may look like a simple roll, but when you are in the car ready to bail out at the speed needed, the adrenaline is pumping, and all you see is a blur of the ground. In 3, 2, 1, and out of the car they go. The first stunt performer jumps out and does a quick toe tap on the ground, which is very important to do to gain footing and a bit of control. As the gravity and momentum take hold of him, the second performer jumps out at the perfect time to place his body in front of the first. Now this is interesting because the 2 performers have to make sure that they have the right momentum and angles to not roll into each other, and they both have control in where they are taking their momentum. Again though, if you can wear any pads to protect yourself, do it. How many times can you hit the ground in the same spot, not injure anyone or yourself, and get back up and do it again perfectly? This is one of the many jobs of a stunt performer.
The van hit. Another incredible stunt during the oneer is when Tyler drives his van into Saju, sending him flying into sheet metal and debris. Firstly, we see actor Randeep Huda step into his mark, preparing to be nudged off frame right by the front of the van. This is just enough to begin pushing him off screen, where a hidden cut takes place on a whip pan to the right. By the time we see him again, it's now a separate shot of a stuntman being ratcheted back on a wire into some collapsible purpose-built set. After violently hitting the debris, he falls onto the ground, not using his arms to brace his fall, as his character has been knocked out from the force of the crash. When the stuntman flies back, notice how his head and extremities are forward. Not only does this help sell the velocity of the impact, but it ensures his back is the first thing to hit the debris, creating a nice divot for him to crunch into before dropping out onto the ground. Sound design also helps sell the initial vehicle hit against our actor, despite the van only needing to come into the frame enough to sell the hit visually. The bike crash.
I want to talk about how impressive this stunt is from my point of view. Let me just say that the build-up to this stunt is perfect. There's the great sound design and the nice back and forth shots building the tension to the big stunt. If we take this frame by frame, we can get an idea of just how spectacular this stunt is. As the motorcycle comes to a straight halt, we see the 2 performers fly off together over the handles. You can see the rider has to push off of the handles hard to make sure he clears them as the passenger connects to his body to keep that same momentum, so that they can take off at the same time and safely over the handles. Once they have cleared the handles, the passenger in back moves a bit to the side of the rider to brace for impact as the rider puts his arms out and gets ready for his impact. The rider quickly takes his momentum forward and turns it into a forward roll as a passenger flies over him to land on his back. The passenger in back needed to make sure that he had enough force to safely fly over the rider and land accordingly. This was a brilliant stunt and so fun to watch. I have watched this one over and over again. Really nice work.
No!
We hope you enjoyed this insight into just some of the many stunts in Extraction. It should go without saying, but these stunts are performed by the most skilled of professionals under extreme supervision and should not be attempted by anyone at home.
Exactly. What stunts impressed you the most? Let us know.